On October 28, 2019, 47-year-old Tetsu Shiohara from Japan live-streamed his climb of Mount Fuji, an event that was intended to be enjoyable, but tragically became avoidable. Tetsu had been climbing Mount Fuji since 2017 and had successfully reached the summit multiple times. However, his previous climbs were during the official climbing season, which lasts from July to mid-September. During this period, the climb is considerably safer due to maintained paths, milder weather, and the availability of rest stops that provide essential supplies like food and oxygen. In contrast, Tetsu's late October climb meant the mountain was covered in thick, slippery snow, and conditions were much harsher, with winds reaching 60 miles per hour. Additionally, all the mountain's rest stops were closed for the off-season. Despite this being his first off-season climb, Tetsu was not deterred by the unfavorable conditions. He was determined to reach the summit and return in a single day. The stream, however, got off to a bad start. Tetsu had forgotten crucial items like thick socks to keep his feet warm and crampons to prevent his shoes from slipping.
ソックス。あ、靴下。あれ？靴下忘れた。いや、違う違う。バス。何が？ちょっと待って。
Later, he also mentioned that he had not brought any food to keep his backpack light. As the climb progressed, the lack of food became a minor issue compared to the unexpectedly deep snow. During his ascent, Tetsu passed several sections where the trail had been damaged by severe weather. About 2 hours into the climb, his viewers began expressing concern about the increasing danger and urged him to turn back.
一般客だね。そうやね。そうやね。でも山頂まで行けちゃうと思うよ。この。
Ignoring these warnings, he continued his climb, and through sheer determination, came close to the summit. Unfortunately, his luck ran out at this point. While crossing a particularly steep part of the trail, Tetsu slipped and fell down the mountainside.
外埋まってんだけど、雪で。よし、行こう。ここも危ないね。ちょっとね、斜面。あそこ。滑る。
Seconds after the fall, his phone struck a rock, and the live stream ended. His viewers immediately notified the authorities. However, the severe weather conditions delayed the rescue operation, and it took 2 days to find Tetsu's body. He was found severely injured, 2,300 feet below his last known location. For many, this was a straightforward case of an inexperienced and ill-prepared person misjudging the risks of climbing Mount Fuji. However, some have proposed alternative theories. For instance, one person suggested, "I don't think he wanted to go exactly where he did on the mountain. But if you ever saw the live stream, you'd know that he definitely was planning on doing it, probably at the top." The chat was begging him to turn back, and he made consistently deliberate references to not being fully equipped. Additionally, he had a very ample and generous amount of time to turn around if it had purely been a mistake, with the last few people he met warning him to not go any further. This suggests that Tetsu intended to end his life that day, and that the missing equipment was a deliberate choice rather than an oversight. While there is no proof to support this theory, his true intentions remain unknown. Twitch streamer Jake and Bake was live streaming in Korea late one night, discussing his equipment while outside a kebab shop. He noticed a distressed young woman quickly passing by with a man. Jake and Bake recognized this situation from previous streams. When the woman saw that Jake and Bake was live streaming to a large audience, she immediately approached him, pulling the man with her, and said, "Sorry, I'm here with my friend." It was clear to Jake and Bake that the woman didn't know the man and didn't want to be with him.
Is he following you?
Yeah.
Oh, well then stay with us.
Yeah, stay.
She was being followed against her will. Jake and Bake intervened by pretending to know her, speaking to her as if they were friends, and encouraging the stalker to leave her alone. They had never met before. But Jakenbake realized she needed help to escape a potentially dangerous situation. The woman thanked him as soon as the man left, saying she had felt seriously threatened. Jakenbake's actions were commendable, and he may have saved her from a very bad outcome.
That guy's
Okay, he's
creepy.
going. He's going. He's leaving now. He's leaving now.
On April 4th, 2020, Ernest Wilson, a 24-year-old warehouse worker from Baltimore, Maryland, was live streaming a house party on Facebook. Tragically, he didn't know these were his final moments. Because of the pandemic lockdown, he had begun hosting invite-only parties at rented Airbnbs, which he called game nights, to replace the closed public venues. These parties became increasingly popular, and on April 3rd, he announced a 2-day game night on Facebook. He even posted a message asking people not to bring uninvited guests. The party began successfully, with everyone dancing and enjoying themselves. However, around 2:30 a.m., the group decided to play hide-and-seek in the backyard.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Ernest, the first seeker, started counting and then encountered someone trying to jump the fence.
1, 2, 3. Who the is that, you?
I don't know.
Get your from the other side of this gate. Who the Stop. This can't be one of my friends.
Instead of backing away and calling the police, Ernest confronted the intruder. Sadly, the intruder was armed and fatally shot Ernest before fleeing. The entire incident was captured on the live stream.
Hey, Pie!
The police arrived at 2:45 a.m. and found Ernest's body. While the initial assumption was that it was a robbery gone wrong, some suspect other motives. During the confrontation, a girl was heard laughing in the background.
Hey, Pie!
Leading to speculation that she might have been an accomplice. According to this theory, she may have tried to let the intruder in through the front door and, finding it locked, directed him to the fence. Despite these theories, the police never caught the suspect, and Ernest's case remains unsolved. This tragic incident serves as a stark reminder of the potential dangers that can arise, even in seemingly festive situations. The combination of social media, late-night gatherings, and the presence of unknown individuals can create a volatile mix, as seen in the unfortunate death of Ernest Wilson. So, what do you think was the motive of the intruder? Please comment below.
Hey, Pie!
He says he wants to see her again, applying to have his...
On December 10th, 2018, Australian streamer Luke Monday, known online as Mr. Deathmoth, was live streaming Fortnite on Twitch when his wife, who was 4 months pregnant, asked him repeatedly to stop playing and join the family for dinner. Despite her polite requests, Monday ignored her, leading her to become increasingly frustrated. Upset that he prioritized gaming over spending time with her and their children, she began throwing objects at him. In response, Monday escalated the situation with physical violence. While the assault wasn't visible on camera, the audio clearly captured the altercation, with his wife immediately shouting that he had attacked her in front of their kids. Horrified viewers quickly reported the incident to the police, who located and arrested Monday, charging him with common assault. The fallout was severe. Twitch permanently banned him and he was suspended from his job at Telstra. After pleading guilty, his streaming career came to an abrupt end. However, the case took an unexpected twist when it was revealed that both Monday and his wife had prior domestic violence incidents, resulting in her also facing assault charges in a separate case. Ultimately, Monday avoided prison and was sentenced to 14 months under community corrections.
21-year-old partner has copped abuse.
Have now launched a murder investigation following the death of Natalie McNally in Lurgan.
In December 2022, authorities in Northern Ireland encountered a perplexing crime scene where the primary suspect appeared to be in two locations simultaneously. The events began on December 18th, when Irish YouTuber Vows Saxon 07, whose real name was 33-year-old Stephen McCullen, live-streamed himself playing GTA Vice City. The stream commenced around 6 p.m., and McCullen remained live for approximately 6 hours until midnight. The stream was generally uneventful, with McCullen mostly playing in silence, occasionally adding commentary. Meanwhile, while McCullen was live-streaming from his home, his 32-year-old girlfriend, Natalie McNally, was experiencing a horrific ordeal. McCullen was unaware of these events and went to sleep after the stream concluded. The following day, he received numerous calls and messages concerning McNally. She had apparently been at her parents' residence the previous night to watch the World Cup finale. The match concluded around 6 p.m., and McNally returned to her home, which was nearby, shortly thereafter. She lived alone in Northern Ireland with her 2 cats and a dog. The next day, however, no one could reach McNally. She was absent from work and was not answering her phone. Given that she was 15 weeks pregnant with McCullen's child, her silence caused concern among her friends and family, who feared she might be facing health issues. After learning of her absence and waiting several hours for a response, a person went to her home, about 20 minutes from McCullen's residence in Lisburn. Tragically, it was too late. Upon arriving at McNally's home, they found the door open and McNally dead inside. She had been murdered.
Detectives from the Major Investigation Team have now launched a murder investigation following the death of Natalie McNally in Lurgan. This follows the results of the post-mortem. The 32-year-old died a violent death, having been stabbed a number of times, and there are signs of defensive injuries.
Detectives from the Major Investigation Team initiated a murder investigation into McNally's death in Lurgan. The post-mortem examination revealed that the 32-year-old had died violently, having been stabbed multiple times, and that there were signs of defensive wounds. The report indicated that she was killed on the night of December 18th, shortly after returning from her parents' home. However, investigators found no evidence of forced entry. This, combined with the fact that McCullen was the one who reported her death, made him the primary suspect, and he was soon arrested. However, the arrest was short-lived because authorities quickly determined that McCullen had a strong alibi. According to the post-mortem report, McNally was killed while McCullen was live-streaming from his home. Investigators examined McNally's phone and found the last text message from McCullen sent at 5:57 p.m., which stated, "Right, I'm off to stream the night away. Wish me luck." To which McNally replied, "I might have a peek at your live stream later." This evidence cleared McCullen of any wrongdoing but left investigators without a clear direction for their investigation. McCullen did provide them with the name of a person he suspected. However, investigating this individual did not lead to any breakthroughs, and the person's name was never publicly released. Subsequently, detectives discovered CCTV footage showing a man dressed in dark clothing and white shoes walking towards McNally's home at 8:52 p.m. and returning about 40 minutes later. Based on this timeline, investigators concluded that this was the killer. Shockingly, the individual was of similar height and build to McCullen. This re-established McCullen as a person of interest, but it also raised a significant question. If McCullen was the perpetrator, how could he have been in two places at the same time? With no other leads, the authorities offered a £20,000 reward for information about the killer and continued their investigation. They also feared that the killer might have already fled to a neighboring country. Meanwhile, McNally's case gained national attention, leading to numerous memorials across the country. This increased the pressure on investigators to find the killer as quickly as possible. They made several arrests and seized a suspect's car. Investigators also found the murder weapon, a knife from McNally's home, on January 5, 2023. However, none of these developments helped them identify the killer. Finally, on January 31st, they re-arrested McCullen, this time with substantial evidence. The live stream, which had initially cleared him, was revealed to be a hoax. It was a pre-recorded video presented to appear as a live broadcast. Following his arrest, investigators examined his computer and found the original recording, created on December 14th, 4 days before the murder. They also located a taxi driver who recalled picking up someone matching McCullen's description near the crime scene around 9:30 p.m. and dropping this person off near McCullen's home. Crucially, the taxi driver stated that the passenger had forgotten his wallet and briefly entered McCullen's house to retrieve payment. This evidence confirmed that McCullen had gone to McNally's home and committed the murder. In retrospect, several suspicious aspects of the fake live stream should have raised suspicions. For instance, the stream was titled The Violent Night Christmas Live Gaming Stream. At the beginning, McCullen claimed to be experiencing technical difficulties with the streaming software, using this as an excuse for his inability to interact with the live chat.
Well, because this streaming software is kind of up the left, it means I can't check the live chat, which is a real shame. So, by all means, talk amongst yourselves.
Well, because this streaming software is kind of up the left, it means I can't check the live chat, which is a real shame. So by means, talk amongst yourselves. This prevented anyone from questioning his lack of engagement with viewers, a key element of live streaming. At the start of the stream, McCullen repeatedly emphasized the date, stating, "Hello, hello to all in this glorious Sunday evening. Yeah. So I just thought, why not? I'm going to do a live stream because, this day next week is Christmas. So what more could you want for Christmas other than an evening with your old pal Stephen?" This was likely an attempt to solidify his alibi, suggesting Marseille, "Look, I was streaming that night. I even mentioned the date." Furthermore, several moments in the stream acquired a more sinister meaning after the truth was uncovered. For example, he sang about killing someone in the game, which could be interpreted as a veiled reference to his girlfriend. "I need to kill this. I need to take her down because I won't pass the mission if I don't get this to die." At another point, he made a pun that sounded like McNally's name and found it unusually amusing. Yeah, that's physics. That's what would happen in the real world. Absolute Natalie. Absolute Natalie. The most unsettling moment occurred midway through the stream. During a break, the live stream will be back soon graphic was replaced by a poster for the James Bond film No Time to Die. McCullen later claimed this was accidental, stating that he had dropped his controller on the keyboard. However, given that the stream was pre-recorded, McCullen deliberately inserted this graphic during editing, likely as an allusion to the crime he planned to commit. This theory is supported by the fact that the movie poster appeared around 9:15 p.m., aligning with the time he was at McNally's home. Ultimately, his deception was exposed, and he was charged with murder. He was denied bail and at the time of this writing is awaiting trial on May 6, 2025. It is hoped that justice will be served for Natalie and her family. Can you believe the taxi driver's testimony is what finally cracked the case? I want to hear your reaction to that. Drop a comment below with your thoughts, and let me know if you had suspected him all along.
I didn't drink here. Are you dumb? I already told you, you stupid ass bald ass bitch. I did not drink it, you stupid bitch.
Johnny Somali has become one of the internet's most infamous live streamers. Despite being only 24, he's gained notoriety across Asia for deliberately disrespecting local customs and creating public disturbances. His typical broadcasts feature him shouting slurs at unsuspecting people, deliberately causing scenes in crowded areas, and engaging in intentionally provocative behavior. Among his most shocking stunts, dancing suggestively on a monument honoring slavery victims, deliberately wearing Japanese nationalist symbols in Korea to incite anger, and broadcasting North Korean propaganda on public transit. Authorities in multiple nations have arrested, detained, and banned him, yet he continues his disruptive behavior. Now South Korea is taking unprecedented action. He faces severe legal consequences, including travel restrictions and potential criminal charges for business interference, public disorder, and possible narcotics violations. With his trial postponed until March 2025, he's effectively trapped in South Korea, cut off from his income sources and, most crucially for him, unable to continue his disruptive online activities. Johnny Somali built his name on chaos, taunting cultures, mocking tragedy, and turning public spaces into his personal stages for outrage. But now the man who lived by the algorithm may finally fall by the law. Stuck in legal limbo, banned from the platforms that made him infamous, and facing real-world consequences, Somali's story forces us to ask, when does content cross the line into crime? Was this inevitable, or did the internet reward his worst impulses? Drop your thoughts below. Was Johnny Somali a product of the attention economy, or purely responsible for his own downfall? And most importantly, does he deserve what's coming next?